Welcome to a special introduction of the Chi-Town Shoot Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 49, and I'm, of course, Marcin, coming at you with a special introduction because our audio got cut off for the first 15 minutes. So just wanted to let you guys know what we're talking about before we just drop you in there. So this week, packed full of news and information. We'll be talking about the GCW promoter, Brett Lauderdale, explaining why he feels that independent wrestling is currently in a down cycle. And that's where we start off our podcast, followed by a discussion of the Netflix acquisition of Warner Brothers, or the potential acquisition, and what the ramifications are for AEW and everything else. And of course, our main segment, which is the Art of the Perfect Retirement. Of course, with Cena retiring this Saturday, we kind of go over what the perfect retirement is and what we hope happens with John Cena at Saturday night's main event. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Natty because it was part of that first half of the podcast. Just wanted to shout out to Natty Neidhart for being such a genuinely amazing person at the book signing at King's Rosemont. And I wanted to thank you for taking the time to chat with us, talk a little bit about the Natty Neidhart character, which I'm excited about, and the uphill climb that Natty Neidhart, the Loki legend, is facing, to make her mark. So once again, Natty, thank you. Love the book. Love the book that was signed. We appreciate you. And now on to the show. Brett Lauderdale is probably who is behind GCW, and it's probably the biggest independent promotion in the U.S. right now. I don't know if there's one bigger.
House of Glory's probably getting there.
About there, yeah. So he recently went on the Business of the Business podcast and confirms for himself that we're officially in a down cycle. So he pointed to everything from the economy and wallet fatigue to talking about a lack of genuine drawing power on the scene. And I guess that does raise an interesting question, right? Like, in a world where WWE and AEW are running, stadium shows and pay-per-views, a good question is, like, is there some emotional energy left or money left for, like, indie promotions? And I guess I want to break down Lauderdale's comments and figure out if, this is just a temporary thing or a permanent shift in the business. So, I mean, he talked about, like I said, the economy is a big thing. I think it's affecting everything, and indie wrestling, I mean, entertainment is just kind of part of that scenario. Inflation and people's, money troubles, especially around Christmas right now. I mean, that's a common issue, right? So we talked about, there's so much wrestling right now, and it's tough for people to stand out. And he talked about, for many years, we had a lot of high-profile indies that were running high-profile events. They spent a lot of money. And then sometimes if you have a bad show, that kind of snowballs and maybe affects how people perceive it, and maybe they don't come back. Talks about the lack of drawing power. But he definitely thinks regardless of what the factor is, he definitely thinks that we're currently in a down cycle. So Chris, I guess let me ask you. So he mentions the economy and disposable income as the biggest factor. So with WWE tickets getting more expensive and AEW is also running frequent pay-per-views, do you feel like independent wrestling is the first thing to get cut from a wrestling's fan budget? Do you feel like is indie wrestling now more of a luxury item than a staple? What do you think?
I mean, depending on what kind of fan you are. I mean, if you're hardcore about watching wrestling, it might be something you just resort to actually more than going to those bigger shows from WWE or AEW.
David, I guess same question, but I'll add another layer to it, and let me know what you think. Do you feel like maybe there are wrestling fans who are burned out because we have so much content and, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, Collision, PLEs, pay-per-views, AAA, CMLL, New Japan. Do you feel like the average fan just doesn't have the emotional energy left to care about an indie show on a Friday night, or what do you think? Where do you think it's coming from?
I think it has to be dependent on I think it has to be dependent on the fan and also like the drawing power of whatever indie show's being ran because like there's places that sell out even locally that we have a few that could sell out every month.
Yeah.
Right? Then we have some that can't. And then I think that just goes around everywhere. And I think making sure you're booking a great show is kind of where it starts. I think it's a product thing. It's also just like a star power thing because it's like who's there, and then
right,
it's like okay, like a bunch of indie wrestlers, and let's just say freaking random cruiserweight we're not thinking about right now from 2005 is there.
Super Crazy.
Shit, he's from before that. Well, we could, we'll say Super Crazy. Like, okay, Super Crazy's there. Who's he wrestling? Yeah, like.
I mean, yeah.
And then, yeah, even like downward, and like, I don't mean that like in a negative way, because when I go out, I enjoy indie shows. I also think that the average fan probably doesn't know how to save for 3 promotions.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's hard for one, especially. I feel like
very hard.
It's not hard. You skip 3 trips to any drive-through. There you go.
I mean, that's true. You're right. Like if you really like zoom out, because sometimes you're so in the weeds when in like
Right.
people's spending habits. If you like zoom out and be like, hey, I just ordered Grubhub like 5 times this week. That's a wrestling show.
That's my whole ticket. That's my whole not even wrestling show ticket. That's a WWE ticket and a nice seat.
Yeah. But let's consider like that, like, because the downturn exists and there must have been a time
wrestlers.
There must have been a time when it's like I can order Grubhub 5 times a week and still go out to a wrestling show, right?
When
like,
you didn't care because Cody Rhodes was there.
Right.
No, like seriously, like you didn't care because all these people were leaving Impact and going to indie wrestling. People were leaving WWE to wrestle in the indies. Now they have a home.
Yeah.
AEW.
Do you feel like that affects then like people's willingness to go to those shows is because like a Cody and Mustafa Ali is in TNA and WWE? Yeah, I mean that's true. Like star power obviously affects people's want to go to a show, and sometimes it might be timing too. Like I saw Freelance has that show on the 13th, which is also the same night as John Cena's retirement match, and all the rows were still like open, like the first, second, third, general admission. There were still like options available as of like Saturday. So that could be the John Cena timing thing. I mean, it could be what Brett from GCW said, where maybe it is a money issue, because I feel like last year when we went, it was sold out. I mean, it was a December show, wasn't it? Or a January show?
Yeah, but they are also booking how they're booking. Not that their bookings like this shows worse, but I mean, in last December, that was what, Chavo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out. There was Chavo,
Giselle Shaw.
Yeah,
was
Giselle.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's you have like you said, stars that
Right.
people gravitate towards, and they see it there on the show, and there's a higher chance of them going to the show because it's people that you know. And I think that's part of it, for sure. I think sometimes, I mean, even now, like if we like look at how quickly people, WWE, like they're on Netflix, and people thought, we had that meme with Triple H saying, the WWE's on fire right now, and that was the beginning of this year, right? And I don't know if it's the internet wrestling community or if it is actually reflecting in sales and gates, because sometimes it feels like maybe it does when people brought up like a SmackDown or whatever that landed on a specific holiday, but then they had Survivor Series and Monday Night Raw and all that kind of stuff, and they had a sellout crowd in like a giant baseball park. So I don't know. Like some people feel like WWE is in a bit of a downturn right now, but literally less than a year ago in January, the people were saying they're on top of the world. So I don't know if
a lot has happened since then, right? A lot has happened, right, with WWE since then, though.
I mean, people were a little disappointed at the results of like WrestleMania 41, and then
Well, everybody always wants what they want to happen, and then they don't shut the hell up.
right. I mean, it's people always complain about it, regardless
right,
if it's like hot or if it's in a downturn, because it's the internet and there's somebody going to be complaining about something.
It's the internet, and I like wrestling, so I'm going to ruin it for everyone else.
Right. So, but again, I don't know, like, do those data points factor into recent attendance? I don't know if that's like a general sense that, wrestling fans feel like.
Think about it this way. Like, this is probably one of the first years in a long time where, like, we're not thinking about, like, who might show up in a major promotion for the first time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like, we're not thinking like, oh no, like who's gonna show up at the Rumble? Who's gonna show up at AEW? Like that's not going on right now.
Chris Jericho, baby.
Okay, right, yeah.
I guess Chris Jericho, but
no,
yeah, I
mean up and coming, like good, like like when was the last time you guys heard me go, oh hey, AEW picked up some indie wrestler that's great? Yet like
haven't seen an all elite graphic in a while.
Right, like who's coming out of that? Like NXT still picks up wrestlers, not just NIL kids, and you haven't heard of NXT signing anybody.
That's true. I guess that's the other thing. It's like everyone is so stacked and full right now, with the exception of maybe a Jericho or something. There's so much talent on every roster. I guess that kind of conversation doesn't really take place right now, just because there are so many stars. Right. So that's true. I mean, yeah, I think, if it is it reflective of WWE and AEW right now, maybe a little bit, but I think like the indie wrestling stuff, it might depend on the market too. It depends on the market. And I do think that people's spending habits and what they plan on spending does affect, this is like a trickle down effect, when it comes to like what people decide they want to spend their money on. If money's tight and they have to pay for, food and all that kind of stuff, then other things get cut, of course. But we'll see. I think that it might be. I mean, it's cyclical. It's all cyclical, right? There's a downturn. It gets better. There's a boom, and the bubble pops, and then we go back and forth again. But GCW promoter thinks that it's in a bit of a struggle right now. But I guess we'll see in the new year. But speaking of new things happening on the horizon, we recently got the news story of Netflix potentially announcing the acquisition of Warner Brothers. So that's probably one of the biggest business stories in the past couple of years. And it is a move that can fundamentally basically change the chessboard for everyone in pro wrestling, but also, movies and entertainment in general, because Netflix is a specific, like, they focus on streaming. And I think there's also a concern about them not wanting to do theatrical releases. There's a whole other conversation when it comes to that. And in a massive $82.7 billion deal, Netflix officially agreed to acquire Warner Brothers, and that includes their film studios, HBO and HBO Max. So before the deal closes, Warner Brothers is spinning off their cable networks, including TNT Sports, into a separate company called Discovery Global. So, WWE and John Cena and everybody there, they're on Netflix. AEW, at least when it comes to TNT and TBS, that those channels would be in a different company under Discovery Global. So the deal is complicated, but I think it's an interesting conversation to have about what are the implications for AEW in the future. So let's see. So basically, I mean, think of all the properties that would potentially now just be kind of shoved together, right? You had Game of Thrones, DC, Harry Potter, and then you're smashing them together with, Stranger Things, and I don't know, Orange is the New Black, and all those other Netflix properties. There's a bunch of things. I mean, K-pop, Demon Hunters. I mean, that's everywhere, right? There's a bunch of things. There's just so much content. I can't tell you like, oh, what's super popular, because there's a lot of it everywhere. So the deal excludes WBD's global networks divisions. That includes CNN, TNT Sports, and the Discovery channels. And they want this, or are expecting to finalize this in late 2026 or early 2027. So the move allows Netflix to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations, including theatrical releases. And basically, we might potentially have a massive library of Warner Brothers and Netflix and everything that they distribute within that bubble under the Netflix umbrella. So the interesting thing about the press release states that TNT Sports and the cable networks are spinning off into a new company called Discovery Global. So let me ask you this, Andres. Do you feel like this potentially leaves AEW vulnerable, since they're no longer attached to the Warner Brothers war chest, and Discovery Global would be a much smaller company? Do you feel like that hurts their negotiating power?
I do feel like it throws some kind of a wrench into it, because like it's a smaller company too, and then with the acquisition of WB, it could maybe not like detrimentally, but I think it would put a bump in the road for them. But not too sure with it, because I heard about that, but I was not gonna lie, I was actually very confused when I heard what was going on. I was like, wait, because I don't have a lot of streaming networks other than the ones that you let me share of yours. So I was watching like Saturday Night Main Event or a pay per view at the time, but so I wasn't too sure, especially hearing like how WWE is gonna be split up now with that too. Like that's just random. I feel like it's gonna make things harder probably for everyone. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing with like WWE also going to what Netflix is going to be on Raw, and then the other shows are going on different ones too. It seems kind of messy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
that's also because we came from an easier time too to watch it. Like it was just two channels. You had everything. You had WCW and one WWE. So.
Yeah, I mean, like the United States kind of gets the shaft because we have all these shows on different channels, and then the rest of the world has like WWE properties on Netflix, including the shows, NXT, PLAs, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the interesting thing about this specific deal, so it's not finalized yet because it still has to go through a bunch of hoops before people can actually approve it, including the Department of Justice and folks in the government who have to look into this, because this is a giant monopolization of entertainment and movies and TV shows, and being gobbled up by Netflix. You could potentially see this as a Well, it's a monopoly. It would be a monopoly, but I'm trying to find the other word for it. But anyways, people think it would be a monopoly on the entertainment industry, the theater, the movie theaters. People would be losing their jobs because you're combining two companies. You lose a lot of money. So the way to save money is you cut a bunch of jobs. Um, and yeah, and then you probably are going to pay more for the service because now you have a bigger library, and
Yeah.
they're going to increase it from 20 to, I don't know, $30 because look at all the new deals that you're getting with this new acquisition. But I guess like for AEW, because this is kind of like part of the main conversation, their current deal seems to stand, and it's fine because I think it lasts until 2027, something like that. Like their contract with TBS and TNT, and then HBO Max, they have their pay-per-views and they stream on there. So right now it's fine. And Netflix and everybody, I mean, like it's probably very bottom on the totem pole for them to like worry about like where AEW is going. But I think it's interesting to discuss because there is that predicament that AEW, their shows are on TNT and TBS, and those specific channels are getting pushed off to Discovery Global, which would be a separate company from Warner Brothers. It'd be much smaller. It would have less money. So theoretically, if they renew their contract, they would be getting much less for their contracts, and ergo probably have less money, pay less people, probably have to cut folks. And then HBO Max is going to Netflix. That specific part would go to Netflix. So AEW is currently using HBO Max to stream all their shows, including their pay-per-views, and Netflix would be swallowing that. So I know that WWE. I don't like people say that WWE doesn't have much say in it, but I'm just thinking like politically, if you have a 10-year deal with this specific wrestling company, do they have some kind of say if like they acquire this Warner Brothers and they have a wrestling company there? Do they keep them on Netflix? Like I don't know, Chris. What do you think? Do you feel like there could be some issues there?
I feel like there has to be, but I mean, maybe that's something they already thought about when they were doing meetings and trying to get this deal together, because it seems like usually you announce something like this when things were already thought out, I imagine, and then things just need to be finalized. Like all the legal shit has been thought about, or maybe not.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I would love to sit in the boardroom. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in like a WWE executive meeting with like Netflix and see if they're talking about AEW. And we're like, oh, what are we gonna do about this? It'd be interesting.
I mean, I'm sure they do. If they have a nickname for Tony Khan, like obviously they talk about them because it's in their
Snowman.
yeah, it's in their wheelhouse.
Is that what it was? The
Yeah,
snowman.
yeah.
That's great.
So, I mean, David, what do you think? All this news, like, obviously they still have their contract and their deal up, so it's not like anything's changing the next like 2 years. But what do you think happens after that for them?
Yeah, they'll just go wherever Turner goes and take whatever they get. I'm sure they'll find a streaming deal.
Do you think there's a possibility that maybe they just do go on Netflix and we just have WWE and AEW on Netflix?
I wouldn't be surprised.
The forbidden
It's not
door.
like,
Yeah, right.
because it's like in Netflix's argument, it's like, okay, WWE, you don't want them here. All these animation companies don't want these other animation companies here, and they're dealing with it.
Right. Yeah, I
There you
think
go.
that's the more I think that's the more interesting scenario
Like,
is if they just coexist on the same app, you could theoretically have like competition because now you're dealing with the same streaming service
I
and
mean, end of
yeah.
the day, at that level, it's like the they they're just items. So it's like, oh, like Sprite's out selling Coke. Oh
Right.
no,
Mm-hmm.
guess who wins? The Coca-Cola company.
That's true. That's true. You're right. Um, but sometimes, like like Netflix cancels shit all the time if it underperforms, or if it has like one or two seasons, then it goes away. So I guess that's where I guess it'd be like WWE, Raw, and SmackDown, even though they would never get rid of it. I mean, I guess AEW got rid of Rampage, but now I'm just like thinking out loud. Um, so I think that would be an interesting predicament if AEW and WWE were both under the Netflix umbrella, which I think is a possibility. And again, I think they just still have to deal with, the acquisition. Um, but I would like to see like a DC Universe WWE crossover.
No, oh no.
uh, I mean, like Cody Rhodes has worked with Warner
Dorky
Brothers, I
comics.
think. Cody Rhodes wasn't he on Arrow, and there was I think he was on some kind of talent show called Go
I
Big
know.
Show. Go Big
Yeah,
Show.
without the Big Show,
Yeah, like every time he keeps
missed
saying it, I'm like, are
opportunity.
you talking about Paul White or are you talking about
No, no,
like
the Big Show.
yeah, Go Big Show. But if you like he just sounds like he's just,
Like you're cheering him on.
encouraging Paul White to, choke slam somebody. Go Big Show. Um Now, I guess like it hasn't really happened too much, but maybe you can correct me. Like WWE superstars crossing over into other franchises like that are on Netflix and stuff. Does that currently happen? I don't know. I guess like they have like documentaries
Cody
and things like that.
has uh Cody was on a cartoon that Kenny Omega voice they both did voice acting for uh little things like that.
Mhm. So, I mean, I feel like we could see, I think, I mean, the deal just started. I think it is for like 10 years, isn't it? Like for
Yeah.
Netflix. So, like, they got a shit ton of time with Netflix. And then I guess after 10 years, they have the option to renew for another 10 years. So we could potentially have Raw and WWE on Netflix until we're almost 60. uh, and yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. Um, but Chris, let me ask you this: like, if you're the Netflix CEO and you own the rights to the Raw live stream, and then you just bought the platform, you just bought HBO Max that um, AEW was likely targeting for streaming. Do you try to buy AEW streaming rights too, or do you freeze them out to protect your WWE investment? If you're the Netflix boss,
Are you saying like should he buy the streaming rights for it, or like leave
what
them out?
would
You're
you
saying?
do if you're the Netflix CEO? What would you do?
I mean, shit, money's money. Probably just best of both worlds. We're getting greedy. A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Why is that? Is it you think you'd make more money if both of them were there?
You're gonna get some percentage of wrestling fan that's probably specifically watching AEW. So you're just gonna attract more people, more eyeballs to your product. So I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
If you're saying Netflix CEO, right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah.
Like you own the rights to Raw. I mean, I guess like internationally, everything else. And I'm saying you just bought HBO Max.
More is
The
better.
AEW,
It's like
is
you get
yeah.
you got Disney owning the other half of media.
Everything.
Now you have Netflix owning the rest of it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, would they still have HBO Max, or would they just shove it all under Netflix? Like you said, Disney Plus has Hulu shows and all those other subsects of studios in as an option for you to like stream, right? Like Star Wars, Simpsons, Fox, all that kind of stuff. is under the Disney Plus umbrella. Do you think it would just be all under Netflix?
That's what I think. I'm guessing they're just trying to do what Disney's doing because Disney is the competition, right? As far as like media and what you're putting out and what people are consuming. So they
Yeah.
probably want to do something similar, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in the sense like, and I don't know if we're just eventually just going to have, two streaming services or just eventually one streaming service. Everything's going to be like ruled by one giant company.
Red
It's
pill,
going to
blue
be
pill.
it's going to be very like Matrix, Alien, post nuclear war type shit, all under the same God. But
Netflix.
AI.
yeah, all hail Netflix. Everything Netflix, military, Netflix,
Grocery
internet.
stores.
Yeah, grocery stores. I mean, Amazon's already doing that shit, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like even Amazon's gone. It'll just be on Netflix.
What happened to Amazon? Netflix bought
Yeah,
them.
Netflix shipping. And you could watch a fucking 30-minute Simpsons episode while you wait for your fucking package for some reason. And it tracks your package while you're watching the Simpsons episode.
Sounds disgusting.
Andres, I guess same question for you. If you're the Netflix CEO and you own the rights to Raw, WWE, and then you just bought HBO Max that AEW is probably going to target for streaming, do you buy AEW's streaming rights or do you freeze them out to protect your WWE investment?
I'll probably line it up with like what Chris was saying, just get everyone in on one. But then probably the premium will probably go like up ridiculous for everyone. But I don't know. I feel like because there's so much wrestling now, it could be more convenient to pay probably a little bit more to get it all from your TV service. So I feel like that would probably be a safer bet. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like as a consumer, I probably would be happier with that maybe because like, oh, it's all on one. I don't have to keep track of multiple ones now. So I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean
who
it's
knows?
convenient,
Who
but
knows though? Like, what if I'm like the
yeah.
one that decides I want to do it, and then like WWE's like, no, we don't want them. Here's all this extra money, so you can't bring them on here to try to convince you not to bring them over. You know, I could see WWE wanting to be like, no, kind of like how they don't share the Allstate Arena.
Yeah, yeah, WWE and Netflix have the contract. So I feel like even if there might be any issues, I don't know if you can get out of it unless you want to get sued or you lose all the money that you put into it. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if WWE would care that much. I guess it's just does Netflix see them as profitable is all. If they're losing them money, then I guess that's what it boils down to, right? Even if they acquire them. And I mean, AEW like on cable, and again, I guess this is cable. So if you get HBO Max, I don't know how that works, but like they are a top show in their time slot. So it's like they have something to, put their hat on. But I guess when it comes to Netflix, like the actual streaming, and that's its own beast. It has its own parameters, and I guess they recently changed the way you measure ratings and stuff with this new model, and apparently it's pretty fucky. So, and I think it's also affecting wrestling and other things too. So, I don't know if they'd have as big of a selling point, until they sort out this new rating system. Well, David, let me ask you this before we move on to our main segment about the perfect retirement. What do you think if you were the Netflix CEO? What would you do to AEW?
I
Would you
would
buy them?
probably just see what Warner was gonna do with them and just ride that out. And then if it's the boot right after, it's the boot right after.
Yeah,
Because I mean, like
that's fair.
they're pretty much up at the same time. So it's just like, are you keeping them? No. Okay, sweet. Are you keeping them? Yeah. Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
Would it boil down to like a bidding war? Whichever company wants to pay for the time slot, I guess.
Tubi.
yeah.
Because they're not.
VTV, Pluto.
Well, Turner's still gonna be a channel on cable.
Right.
So it's just like,
It's just a matter of like, all
just
right,
for the
well,
streaming rights.
right. But that's the thing. It's like, do you want to pigeonhole yourself into cable when that's clearly going away? And I think the way to survive in this new
Cable's
era is jumping on streaming.
cable's still important for ad revenue.
Yes, that's true.
So until that goes away,
I mean,
I guess
WWE
they
is
don't.
doing pretty well. They have like 50 commercials per 20-second matches, so they get ad revenue at the sacrifice of all the ads. But you know, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Whenever this deal goes down, if it goes down, I feel like with this administration, and be like, sure, fuck it, why not buy out Warner Brothers? Who cares? And I think that's where it's going to go. Unfortunately, I think you're right in the sense of, they talk with the Warner Brothers boss, and I don't know, like, you can't have like two. Well, I guess he could still be the CEO of Warner Brothers, but it just depends on like how they structure it. Because if Warner Brothers just disappears and it's just the property, and they don't have an
Yeah.
actual like Warner Brothers division, you just have the Netflix chief, and then you have intellectual property. That's different, like the CEO of that company is probably going to go away, and all you're getting is the intellectual property, and the actual paper pushing is done through the Netflix CEO. So he might ask, or I mean, he'll have access to all the numbers and stuff, and then probably make his decision that way. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it won't even go through. Who knows? And I'm just being a cynic, but these kind of acquisitions, I mean, with Disney is a good example. Skydance and Paramount is another good example. They all went through, and this seems like an inevitability, but I guess we'll see. Finally, I want to look ahead to Saturday, or Saturday already passed. But we have been anticipating John Cena's retirement, and we are almost at that point where we're going to have John Cena and Gunther in the last match. And wrestling, of course, is notorious for fake retirements and, declines in people's wrestling ability, and, the one more match paydays that tarnish some people's legacy. But this specific weekend feels a little different because we're watching the greatest of all time, arguably, try to execute the perfect retirement. But what does that actually look like? Does he have to lose to pass the torch? Does he need to fade away or go out in a blaze of glory? And I want to look at the history of like wrestling goodbyes from Shawn Michaels to Stone Cold, and ask, can Cena actually stick the landing? So John Cena is wrestling his final match against Gunther. And of course, we know in wrestling, nothing's ever final. Wrestling has a terrible track record with final matches. Chris, when you put the final 3 seconds of this broadcast, Saturday night's main event, what do you want to see? Is it Cena smiling with the belt, or with his hand raised, or is it Cena on his back, hobbling to the back?
I mean, he's probably going to lose, because I don't know if you watched the Joe Rogan Experience with John Cena that came out like a day ago or whatever it was, but it sounds like he's in this headspace of just like trying to give more than, because he used to be, I guess, a bit more selfish with certain things, and he wanted things a certain way, but it seems like he's just completely changed his opinion and his overall philosophy, I guess. So I imagine Gunther's gonna win, and he's gonna be in the ring, but then everybody's gonna have the chance to give him the congratulations and all that stuff. It's gonna be like a long farewell. He'll get up, he'll be waving, he'll be going to the crowd, he'll be doing the John Cena thing. He might say some stuff on a microphone, I imagine, something like that.
Get cut off like Goldberg. cut the credits.
Yeah. But yeah, so something along those lines. He's for sure gonna have probably some saying after Gunther beats him. Maybe Gunther will. Maybe not. I was gonna say maybe he'll break kayfabe and start being himself and congratulating him or something. I bet you roster is gonna come out. At the end, congratulate him. Some kind of giant farewell party or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me emotional thinking about it.
Yeah.
Man, I can't really like I just can't realize that this is going to be his last match ever. And he seems like a guy that would stick to his word. And I thought about that with Shawn Michaels, but then he had that one match in Saudi Arabia. But what, David? What do you think? Like last 3 seconds, the final 3 seconds of this broadcast. What do you want to see?
Cena taps.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go home. Nah. And then everybody, like Gunther gets his moment, he leaves. Everybody else comes out to thank you, Cena's, and happy ending.
Yeah, I mean, you saying tapping out is very interesting, and this is it's actually something I scheduled out probably that Friday, like the Friday before Saturday night's main event. Like Cena hasn't tapped since like 2004, and the last person that made him tap was Kurt Angle. Yeah,
Yeah.
Damn.
He hasn't tapped.
That is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's got to be right. Like he hasn't tapped in
sexy
20.
Kurt.
Yeah. I'll make your ankle hurt.
Cena was making a point on Rogan, essentially saying when he was trying to figure out who he should be as a character, he was saying he's like, I don't give a fuck, like I'll do whatever you want me to go out there and dance, like I'll do that shit. And he was saying how some people are above that, but he was like, I don't care, I'll do anything and I'll make it the best thing that I've ever done. Like giving it his all. You're just making a point of just living in the moment and just like giving everything into that very specific thing. So he was talking about them having that conversation on Rogan, and he just wanted to put all his attention there. So I imagine, he's gonna make the match his best, and then he'll sell the shit out of that tap.
I mean, he's been practicing his indie matches to go against someone like Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the dungeon. Cena's been in the dungeon. He's been making his rounds. It's been interesting to see.
Take the most amount of chops he's ever taken.
Probably. I mean, it's his last match. He's probably going to go all out.
Chop forever.
Chop forever. Yeah, I mean, his chest is going to look like ground beef by the time that match ends.
Gonna bleed.
So, I mean, Andres, let me ask you this. We always say that, or the industry says that you have to go out on your back. But as a fan, does watching like your hero, it could be Cena or whoever, does it watching your hero lose actually feel like a good ending? Or do you feel like that's just kind of like industry politics getting in the way of a happy moment?
No, I mean, I think as a fan, well, I mean, because I'm older now, but like I guess as a fan, I think it still would be okay with them taking the loss, but like having the opponent be respectful of it as well. Like I don't know if entirely I want to see Gunther like being Gunther about it, like kind of like how Stone Cold and The Rock, like when Stone Cold retired, like there was that moment where you see The Rock like thanking him like personally, and then kind of like leaving the ring immediately and letting Stone Cold have his moment. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And I think it's better to have not even so much as industry, but I think it's better to lose in the end. For some reason, I just feel it's better to go out and then just, take the loss, take it all in, and then, obviously have your goodbyes. If the locker room comes out or not, I don't know actually. I mean, I assume they would too. For him, obviously, Cena. I feel like there's going to be maybe a bigger thing at the end. I don't know, but
give him like the Bret Hart or Cody Rhodes treatment.
Yeah.
The Rock still has the soul, and he says you gotta wrestle some more, kid.
Right, exactly. That's their way out to extend it to WrestleMania. Well, all right, David. Let me ask you this because you've heard. I mean, you've heard like I'm sure you've seen like the arguments about Gunther is already a made man. He doesn't need this. You know, he's like the is he the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion? I think at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah, so I mean, he's got all these accolades. He beat Goldberg, which is always funny to bring up. And like, I think that's probably one of my favorite segments. Was it this year or was it last year when he saw Bret Hart and he talked about how he liked Bill Goldberg?
It was earlier in the year, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. So let me ask you this. So a lot of people think that Gunther is already a made man. Do you feel like beating, a 48-year-old John Cena elevates Gunther, or does he not even need this?
I think it elevates him. Like, he's still like he's still in the earlier half of his career, and it's like he's still like okay, he beat Goldberg, cool, but it's like Goldberg is Goldberg. John Cena's still a whole other level of champion.
And yeah,
Like, yeah, like, because, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, Goldberg had, what, 4 or 5 years? Well, 4 or 5 great years, realistically 3,
right.
and then the rest was just an aura off. So it's just like, which is fine, because that's what he became, but it's also like, he doesn't have Cena's catalog. He doesn't need it. Bill Goldberg. But
Bill
you know,
Goldberg.
he doesn't he doesn't he didn't do everything Cena did. Cena didn't do certain Goldberg things, but it's still important to beat both. It's like if The Rock stopped at Hogan, it was like, oh, he doesn't have to beat Stone Cold. He already beat Hogan. No, he's allowed to beat Stone Cold.
I mean, yeah, to your point, Cena has like 20 years of a good career on like Goldberg. Like you said, I think Goldberg had a good three,
He's a
4
brand,
years.
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine, and people identify with him as being like this badass, and they think he's people. I mean, he is a WCW legend, of course, and retiring someone like that. I mean, yeah, that is a feat. But I think John Cena is a whole other level of wrestler to beat. Like having that on your cap as a cap. I mean, I would that could be Gunther's thing, like Jericho. Like I feel like he still talks about beating Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night
Yep.
for the undisputed championship. And probably I want Dominic Mysterio to do the same thing. I beat John Cena in his last PLE for the Intercontinental Championship, and he should say that until he retires himself. Like there's certain people that have that kind of power that you can use to elevate yourself, right?
Right.
So I agree with that, and I honestly don't know. I don't know who else could be in that. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, but I mean, I'm sure there were conversations between Cena, between Triple H, and everybody about who the last person should be. So
You said, does Gunther get anything for beating a 48-year-old Cena? But
yeah,
he beat a 58-year-old Goldberg. So.
right, right. But I think because Goldberg, I feel like people just didn't treat it as sacred as John Cena's last match.
No.
You know what I mean? Because Goldberg retired kind of like with Lesnar. They both like shat the bed on that. He came back, won some championships, kind of left, never officially retired, and then came back again, and then they gave him this like retirement match with not a lot of build up. It was a Saturday. It was Saturday night's main event, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Retirement show.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a different beast, I think. So I feel like so I think this. I mean, John Cena is WWE, so this is like just a whole different ball game. So I could see why people I could see why people have some issue with it, of course. Like, I'm sure maybe there are other people that you could give the rub, but if we zoom out, I mean, this is Cena's retirement year, so every match that he has, I feel like elevates some people. He had the Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam, which was amazing. It really was one of the matches of the year, and that was kind of a passing of the torch right there. Like, that's an example of elevation. And we just had Dominic Mysterio. At Survivor Series in his last PLE, beating John Cena. So I mean, like, it's not like he's not putting over younger talent. And that specific show is going to also have, which I think is great, NXT talent facing off with quote unquote main roster talent, like Cody Rhodes now versus Obafemi. I mean, that's going to be fucking crazy. I'm excited for that. Or Sol Ruka
versus Babe.
versus Bailey. I mean, what? Yes, please. Yes, please.
Goon Hour.
Yeah, Goon Hour. So look, Andres, let me ask you this. So a lot of people consider the perfect ending for like a retirement match, and they use Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker as the gold standard. And he was gone for 8 years until, of course, the Saudi Arabia match. But let me put that aside for a second. So Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. Why do you feel like up until that point was the HBK versus Taker considered the gold standard? Do you feel like it was that the match quality, like their series of matches, or we actually believed that he would stay retired?
It was just the build up for that. I mean, you had Mr. WrestleMania, you had The Undertaker, who are two icons of the company, and you had The Undertaker, who's undefeated, and I don't know if Shawn was like technically undefeated for WrestleMania at the time.
No,
But
he lost plenty.
He did. Okay, that's what I was wondering. But I mean, you had two icons basically well established going for Shawn Michaels' last match, and he's saying, if I can't win, I have no career or whatever and stuff. So I mean, that was to me probably the best perfect like retirement match, because you had the biggest stage of them all. You had two of the biggest faces of the company. One's gonna go. That's the last time you're ever gonna see them. In their full ring gear facing each other for the last time ever. That to me was like perfect. Like, and then obviously, yeah, he came back later, but yeah, that was the gold standard, I would say, to this day. Like, more than even Ric Flair's, his Shawn Michaels last match too at WrestleMania too. Like, and Shawn retiring him, and that was his hero and stuff. But no, I think Taker and Shawn was the best retirement match.
Does the fact that he came back for that one tag match in Saudi Arabia taint the memory of WrestleMania 26 for you, or do you just pretend that match never happened?
I kind of just pretend that match didn't happen, because that was a really bad match. Like, I was happy to see like, oh, DX is back, but they're so old now. It's like, it was just a bad match all around. Like,
Your great uncle doing crotch chops.
Yep. Everyone's bald and shit. Like, everyone's yeah, dude, they look bad. When they were like leaving the ring, they all look so bad. Like, this should have not happened. People got hurt really bad.
Yeah, I mean, they got concussed. I feel like,
especially like,
don't remember the match.
Wrestling is like about protecting the character, and like what would these characters do? And there's an image and an aura, and then you just have this match, and it just feels like this weird fever dream. You just shit the bed.
Yeah.
It's just like the worst thing you'd ever see any of them in. It's just like, I hope the money was worth it.
I think Shawn's lucky though, to a point, that it didn't really exactly tarnish his like other final match with The Undertaker, because there's 4 people involved in this match, so they all kind of like sucked in their own way. So he doesn't take like the full blame,
Yeah, he
if the
definitely
match was like actually pretty decent and he was the only one that was doing really bad, then I'd be like, oh man, that makes you look really bad. Like, maybe we should have done that, But everyone equally was not having a good time in that match. So
in like Fortnite, where you drink the armor and shit, like they have the life bars up. Like, that match probably knocked off a good chunk of that armor, so they're lucky. So because the rest of their matches added all that armor onto them, the rest of their career.
Right. Had it not been like
yeah.
that, it would have been like we're playing Fortnite and then your PC crashes out and then you're kicked out and then the rest of the team's gonna carry you, right?
Right. Yep. Definitely not me.
No.
So yeah, I mean, like WrestleMania 26, I feel like was the gold standard for retirement matches. And I'm just gonna, pretend that tag match never happened. But like, I think the other case study of like Ric Flair, for example. So I think up until before 26, I think the perfect ending was WrestleMania 24 with the Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels match. He had the whole, I'm sorry, I love you moment. I mean, it was like picture perfect. If he actually retired, that would have been like the perfect ending. But of course, then Ric Flair went to TNA.
Like 3 weeks later.
Literally, I mean, if not weeks, then a month or a couple months. Like it wasn't even a whole year. And then he did Ric Flair's last match pay-per-view in 2022, which was scary to watch. And I think a lot of people were scared of that. So, David, let me ask you this. So Ric Flair kind of proves that danger of holding on too long. So at what point does a retirement tour to you become sad? Are we lucky that Cena's stopping out while he can still go, or do you feel like he should have done this earlier? Do you feel like he could have done this in a year or two? What do you think?
I feel like the timing's probably good now because, like, when he turned into a part timer, like there'd be some matches where you're just like, oh, like, and then he's kind of been able to redeem himself with this tour, and yeah, like it's just it'd probably be better now because he's probably like an injury away from not being able to perform the way he needs to. And also an injury away from just being like, no, I can't do this.
If he wrestles
He got a
again,
new job.
If he wrestles again in 2 years for a Saudi payday, would it ruin this Saturday night's main event for you?
Probably.
Oh yeah. I mean, like because you just have this whole year of buildup, and then he's trying. You get every interview he's had, he's like standing on business. He's like, unlike some people like taking pot shots at like Flair or whoever. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it again, and then you do. Like, that'd be the worst one. That'd be worse than Flair or DX or anything. That'd be the literal worst, comeback imaginable for sure.
I will say though, Shawn Michaels coming back, there was a long time though before he actually had wrestled. So I don't know. Like, I guess there's like some forgiveness to that because it took a very long time for him to like between his actual.
I only forgive Stone Cold.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, he's even longer though because he retired in 2018, right? Or no,
so this kind of is a good segue because I want to ask you about this next case study.
The 37.
37, yeah.
When Cody, or whichever one Cody came back at.
32, no, 33. No. 33? No, shit,
Cody
38. 38.
For 9 years.
38.
I don't know. Stone Cold's that guy that gets a pass for some reason. Like, he's heel, people love him.
Fuck you, cats.
People are just excited to see him in any capacity, really.
I mean, Steve Austin, that was one that I felt was also kind of unceremonious too. Like it wasn't this whole thing, which is why we gave him a pass. What was that?
Yeah.
They didn't do that then.
Yeah.
This isn't something that they usually do.
It's a newer concept.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot more into it now.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, Austin retired quietly after he lost to The Rock, I think WrestleMania 19. And I don't think he said told anyone it was his last match, did he? And then he didn't return until WrestleMania 38 against Kevin Owens. So Chris, let me ask you this. Austin waited 19 years to wrestle again. Did you feel like his match with Kevin Owens hurt his legacy, or did you feel like it added to it because it was just kind of like harmless fun?
It was a cherry on top, kind of like how we were saying, like there was no like giant like send off or anything. I feel like when these guys were done, they were just decided that they were done, and then they would elaborate on interviews and stuff. So I think seeing him pop up, I mean, it was a pleasant surprise because there wasn't this buildup of like, yeah, I'm done. They're saying these things because it's like when they do that on camera, it's this. Now you're playing with the character now more, right? So now you're establishing this lore that, okay, in this current position, like, I'm done, right? And they're saying this on camera, it's part of the story. And yeah, I don't think Stone Cold ever did that, so him showing up at a WrestleMania is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that people just wanted to give him this like actual like period to the end of that story. I think it was. I mean, I think it just exceeded everyone's expectations. Going into that match because you don't know what to expect. He didn't wrestle for. I mean, he always showed up like he was a referee or a host, or he showed up to stun somebody in those 19 years. But to see him actually do it, and honestly we didn't even know like what this match or if it was going to be a match because it was just like the Kevin Owens show, and then like we're like, okay, well I guess he's showing up on some talk show at WrestleMania, and then it turns into a match. I mean, it was great. I think it was great because it was unexpected. Like people were hoping that it might turn into something like that, or he just gets stunned and that was it. And then it turned into this full-on match, and that was a pleasant surprise. And like you said, I think it's because, yeah, I mean, it wasn't as telegraphed his retirement. So just having this, it just gives a different dynamic to it. You look at it a different way. Well, Andres, let me ask you this. So do you feel like it's better to announce your retirement in advance, like a Cena or a Flair, or so we could have the opportunity to say goodbye? Like, all right, we know this is the deadline and we are going to take in as much of this as we can, or would you rather folks just disappear quietly like Austin, so we don't really have to see you decline?
I think it's more dependent on the wrestler, what he wants to do or she wants to do. I think, I don't know if there's really a hearsay to say which one is technically better, but I think it's better coming from the actual person who's, going to be like hanging up their boots, as you would say. So, yeah. And I think with Cena, it's very much on his terms. And, back when they were still doing those post, like shows, and Cena was like, no, I get to pretty much decide full reins of what I'm going to do and how we're going to go about it. Even Triple H said the same thing. I think it's a good way to go by, just how in your own terms of how you want to go about it. Otherwise, because if you didn't have that option, then that's the Goldberg situation. Right. Oh, I got my retirement match, and then they cut off his final announcement or his final speech.
Yeah, so, I don't know if they uploaded it in full. I'm not sure.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they did.
But the fact that the actual moment when it was on TV and they cut it off, like
right, because how many people went back to listen to it?
Exactly, I sure didn't.
It's like, you bum.
Being honest,
see you.
All right, go home, old man. But
get the broom.
I think it's always better on the wrestler's like choice of how they want to go out. I think it's better that way. So it doesn't really matter either quietly or bit of glory or whatever.
David, do you feel like this like Cena template? Do you feel like WWE is just going to start using this for all of their wrestlers? Do you feel like it's going to be the standard now?
Nah.
We're not going to have a last time is now CM Punk retirement tour or Jericho.
I'm sure Punk will, Jericho will in some type of way, but I don't think it's going to be something that they have all the dates planned out and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah. I feel like that was kind of like a safeguard for booking and episodic writing.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, of course, like Cena's movie career and all that kind of stuff.
Because, like, even, like, think about, like, all the times that Jericho got, like, written off whenever he took his breaks. It's kind of like he could have just retired right there. And
That's true.
yeah, and or like a lot of them went like they'll just take a loss and quietly just be like, yeah, that was it. Because like even like AJ Styles is saying he's done in a year. So then it's not.
Yeah, you're right.
We can't start rolling out the AJ Styles retirement tour shit, can
Man,
we?
I mean, he probably can't because the Cena thing is sucking up the oxygen. So maybe people are like, we just had a retirement tour. I'm not doing this again.
I really want to hear Judas in a WWE setting so bad.
I honestly think it's going to be after Jericho shared that Break the Walls Down TikTok and he said you had to be there. I think he's doing Break the Walls Down.
He's doing the countdown, then Judas. He's
gonna do countdown.
That'd be a cool.
Judas. That'd be
a cool mix.
He's gonna do a mashup of everything. I think Jericho's far beyond doing stuff that he used to do, other than like the Lionheart stuff that he did for a little bit. But
and you don't have to pay him royalties, like technically, because it's his own music.
That's true. I mean, his bandmates, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they probably get some cut or contract thing or something.
Their only gold record. They're happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I mean, some interesting facts to throw in. Terry Funk, I think, retired
98
times. 98
Close
times.
enough.
He did.
The Undertaker retired, quote unquote, retired at WrestleMania 33. That's where he left his coat and hat in the ring. I think gloves, and then came back the next year because he wasn't happy with the match quality. So Chris, let me ask you this: if do you think Cena will like leave something in the ring when he's done with his match? Maybe his never give up towel or
his jorts.
That's what I was about to say. I was about to say jorts.
Just drops his pants.
You can't see me.
Yeah, exactly. Just walks back naked.
Just like the Grammys or the Oscars. Yeah.
It was the Oscars.
In his brown tidy whities.
Just got a index card. Walks away.
Hang up the jorts, bro. Hang up those Kmart kicks. Hell yeah.
Yeah, or maybe he wears those pumps that he wore in the early or mid 2000s.
Man.
That'd be sick.
The faces
like
of Cena
thing.
He's gonna have like Sting, but like somebody's gonna play like his like Thugonomics Cena, and then somebody's gonna play the prototype Chain Gang Cena, and then he's gonna be never.
He's gonna fall off a ladder through.
Gunther's gonna chop all of them for a spot.
Like
all
Three
four
Stooges. Eye pokes.
So you think he's leaving? You think he's leaving anything in the ring after he's done?
Probably his towel. The towel.
It's gonna have something.
Throwing the literal towel in. It's gonna say "Never give up" or whatever the handkerchief thing is he walks around with.
They say I gave up.
I gave up.
Yeah,
Little white towel. He's gonna start like waving it while he's tapping out.
David, what do you think? What do you think? Is he leaving anything in the ring? You think it's the towel?
Towel, one of the armbands, one something.
I mean, the towel would be the perfect symbol.
The
Like
jorts.
I'm throwing in the towel for real. Jorts. I mean, it could go any way.
I mean, do you think he's leaving anything? Do you think like that's a thing that he would even be doing?
He's leaving John Cena metaphorically.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, I think like the towel, because the towel he comes in with like usually shows that he'll probably like have it. It'll be like a shot of it, and then that'll probably be it right there. Like that's it.
Yeah, because that's going straight to the museum. That's not going to no fan.
I can't imagine like the crowd too, how nuts they would go when he throws his armband in for the final time. Like, oh man.
I think he takes off his shoes, and then he takes off his jorts, and then he takes off his armband.
Big Dick Johnson comes out, gets the baby oil.
But I think you're
All
right.
the midgets he's brought out over the years.
Yeah, he took a picture. He took a picture or showed a picture of. He did a Stone Cold Psycho picture with just the micro brawl, or what are they? Micro brawlers? What are they called? Is that the wrestling promotion? Micro Brawlers? Or Micro Wrestlers? I don't remember.
Micro Brawlers.
But he had the guy who impersonated him.
John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena. But I think his name was Psycho. in his wrestling promotion, he did like the Stone Cold, like Steve Austin meme that everyone like just puts a face over, and he put Psycho's face on there. I don't know what that means. It must just be because he got a kick out of that classic wrestling segment where you bring out a little person like Bret Hart.
Well, you see, Hideo Kojima posted a photo.
I'm sure
of John
Cena's
Cena.
done it a couple times. I feel like he had to.
Oh, for sure. He had that, I'm sure.
Still my story. Because Hideo Kojima posted a photo of John Cena like yesterday.
Oh, closet wrestling fan.
Right?
Well, I guess not closet because he just shared it, but I'm sure he's a fan.
Or it was in his story, or it's gone now, I think. But yeah, I posted it and I was like, what?
Well, if you find it, share it, and then maybe I'll repost it on our thing.
Oh, my filter. Yeah, I'll show it to you later. I'll put
Yeah,
it
just send a screenshot. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of, the perfect retirement, I mean, I do like this concept that, he announces it and then you have this whole year, but I don't think it works for everyone. And I think for John Cena, he's a unique individual that really has transcended wrestling and was just a part of our lives for so long. And he was such like a transformative figure too, like all the Make-A-Wishes, I mean the movies and everything, like the fan events, I mean it just transcends wrestling. So like this kind of retirement I thought was perfect for him. But yeah, I mean I guess we'll see what happens, and I'm sure we'll all be having a box of tissues when it wraps up. But that's a wrap for this episode of the Chi-Town Shoot podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us, and leave your feedback. Tune in next time for more wrestling madness. Until then, keep marking out.